What's cranking, good people? We back for another edition, another episode of Cheef and Go live. I'm your host, Chief Chiefy Dog. Chiefism. I'm your host, Chief, Lord Chief. Right, is where it started. Then it became Chiefy 64 times. Then it became Chiefy Dog, Chief Dizzle for Shizzle for Sheezy for show. You understand? Then it became Chiefism. You understand? Mr. Chief, keep it brief. Mr. All of the above, the cheat code. You know what I'm talking about? The man of many hats. I'm here and I'm going to be talking to a special guest tonight by the name of Mo. A lot of people might know him by Mo Diggz. It seems like that's his moniker as of late, Mo Diggz, right? You're talking about a dynamite producer. You're talking about a dynamite keyboard player. You're talking about a singer, dynamite singer, right? Voice just getting stronger and stronger. Just out here doing this thing, man, and been in the DMV game doing a lot, for a long time. And I don't know if y'all know about, some of the work he's done and so on and so forth. So I thought it'd be good to bring him in for a conversation on a Cheef and Go. You know what I'm talking about? So we can get y'all familiar with him. You know what I mean? So, like I said, back for another one. I'm trying to keep it consistent. Y'all see, I'm 3 weeks in a row. I got some great guests lined up. You know what I mean? And we're just gonna keep it coming. And that's what it is, y'all. I wish I could see. I need to see if anybody's talking to me in the chat or that type of thing like that. I'm trying to see who's in here. But yeah, powered by Lux Radio. My sister Kim Evans, she came up on the radio station Lux Radio, and then we acquired a Lux Radio Roku channel. So y'all be looking out for some of the content coming soon to that channel. And it's up and live now. You can go tap in and check out what we got there. Y'all make sure to come in on Tuesdays. If you're watching from the Lux Radio YouTube or the website, make sure y'all come and, kick back with Cookie on Tuesdays at 7. And, I'm every Thursday at 8. You know what I mean? So we getting this thing going. We turning up, we doing it for the culture, first and foremost, and most of all. Because like I told you, I'm going to put Go-Go on the map by putting Go-Go on my back. But I can't do it alone. I'm going to need y'all help. Wait a minute, I done walked into a spider web or something. So, I'm going to need y'all help. So thanks for everybody tuning in and watching, commenting and sharing the content. You know what I mean? Really appreciate you. It means a lot. Because, we doing it for the culture. You did. So, like I said, very special guest here today. My man Mo Diggz, Uptown Mo Diggz. And we about to chop it up, about the DMV scene, about his life, about his music. And just introduce him to those who may not know, and just to remind those who may know who the F he is and what the hell he done in this game. So if he ready, I see he on deck. If he ready to go, you know what I'm talking about. We gonna bring him in, doing it for the culture, y'all. Cheef and Go live. What's up, Diggs?
What's up, Chief? What's up, brother? How you?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm good for real. Like I can't complain. Life is good. You did.
God is good.
God is great. You ain't lying.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That's what make life go so good. The ups, the downs, the frowns, the smiles and the frowns, right?
Hey, look, man, every day you wake up is a blessing, man.
It's a blessing. Every day I wake up, I say, amen. He woke me up again. And the older you get, the more real that is, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hey, Kim, I would have made it bigger than this. I don't know if I did that. If I made it small like that in here. Oh, okay. Thank you, Kim. I got my partner Kim Evans helping me steer the ship, you know what I mean, if you will. But yeah, man, we in here. I've been doing this Cheef and Go and trying to be consistent with it. And I'm always thinking, like, man, who can I have on here? Like, who can I have on here? Who can I set up? And I saw the clip from Ocean City.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I gotta get Digs on this joint, man. What's going on? And Cleasy had shared the joke. Y'all see this? The Cleasy joke. And I was like, yeah, that's okay. Because just to give people a little reference of the history, we met around, it had to be 99, 2000. You were doing Rickish Mojo.
Uh-huh.
And I was playing with Soul Patrol at Tacoma Station. And we did a show together, or I was up there. You know, I would come up there with Mark Mood. I forget, however it was, I came up there and y'all was tearing it up. Y'all had the switching going on. It was Corey, the different bass players and drummers switching around.
Yeah.
And it was just like amazing musicianship. And
hey,
then
man, them dudes talented, man.
Yeah, so that was when we first met, and then I came out to Reginald Denning joint.
Okay.
I think that's his name, and you was out there.
You talking about the studio, Reginald Rainey.
Oh, Rainey. Okay.
Yeah.
Reginald Denning. That's like so that's a whole nother thing. I think I was out there with Mark Mood. I don't know if it's for something with Granique or something, but I always remember you said, "Hey Chief, man, play a pocket real quick, right?" And they had the V drums out there.
Uh-huh.
Because that night I was there, Ricky Payton. Yeah, I know I was playing because Ricky Payton was like, "Niggas, your pocket." You know, Ricky Payton don't change nothing. Nigga in my face, like he about to beat, man, don't change, man. Your pocket, Slim. Pocket, you know. But then I was just like, man, maybe Rick said something like, why he asked me to play a pocket on the V drums at that. Like, oh, I gotta get used to these joints. But I think that's the first time we met. And then, like I said, Cleasy was there. Y'all had that back room. He was making beats. I ain't know Cleasy was making beats. And
man,
fast forward. Go ahead.
Believe it or not, Chief, man, you know how I actually got on the MPC, dog?
Cleasy.
I was always making my beats on keyboards.
Right.
Cleasy was like, why don't you use this right here? And it was the MPC 2000. Wow. And he was like, he said the drums on here will enhance your kicks and snares better than the sounds on the keyboard.
Right.
And once I learned how to use that MPC, bro, I never looked back.
Right, because it's gonna hit like a drummer.
Yeah,
you hit with the velocity you want and the timing even. So definitely, that's crazy. But I mean, now looking back at some of the Rap City stuff and all that, it makes sense. But just that day, I'm just looking at Comedian Joe Class, so it was just like, wow. But,
right.
Then fast forward, this is just the introduction of how we met, right? Fast forward, I started, working with J.A.B.
Right.
And going to see the Top Notch, and they would, he would hit Dirty, and I'm like, man, that's my favorite joint. That's probably my favorite Mo Diggz joint, my favorite J.A.B. joint. Man, who did this joint? And J.A.B. likes my man Diggz, and I was just like, man, I got to meet him. And then the rest is pretty much history. We then came through and blended and worked together a little bit here and there, but let's start this off with where did you catch the music bug? What age and what were the influences that that made you say, man, I want to do this?
I want to say probably around like maybe 4 or 5. Like most of my uncles, let me see, my grandmother originally had 22 kids. 22 kids, right? So all of my uncles and probably about 3 of my aunts were musicians and singers. Okay. So I come from a musical background family. So most of my uncles either played keyboards or played other instruments. So that's how I wanted to, that's how I learned to do music. Watching my uncles and my aunts. Yeah.
Okay. So where do you hail from in the DMV? I mean, I know Uptown, but what part?
Oh man, KDY all day. 8th
80Y.
and Kennedy.
Okay. See, I ain't know that.
Yeah.
I ain't know
Yes, indeed.
specifically. Okay. Tight.
Shout out to my Kennedy Street dudes, man.
KDY.
KDY.
So then, so you say about 4 or 5, and okay, it's in the house, it's in the blood, it's in the DNA. You hearing it, you loving it, and what instrument did you gravitate to first? Probably singing, but like as
No,
far as playing one.
man, believe it or not, I love the keyboard, but I started off
On the
playing
drum.
drums. Exactly.
Everybody.
I started off playing drums. I went to church one Sunday and saw the drummer playing drums, and I was fascinated with it. And I was like, "Oh man, I want to play that instrument."
Right.
So they took me in. I started learning how to play the drums. I started, returning to church more and more every Sunday until I was able to actually sit in and play one Sunday.
So them drums, right, which we all know was the first instrument that was spiritual, brought you into church.
Exactly.
And that's something,
Yeah.
And we forget that a lot of times, man. That's how it came from the ancestors, right? It was
Exactly.
for spiritual and communication purposes, Before the twerking we do now. I mean, they did some twerking back then, but before that beat had a purpose. So that's why our go-go culture is so important to the masses, if we're able to share it in the proper way, and even if not, whatever the case is important in the right context. So drums first, which is crazy. Like a lot of people start there, and I guess of course as a youngin, it's kind of easier to probably see. Oh, okay, boom, boom, tap, boom, boom, and it's just more attractive even than like a keyboard or a sax or something. And then as your ears and whatever develop, your whatever you seeing that make you say, man, I want to do that. So that's crazy because I actually started. My father played bass, so I'd be walking around with his bass trying to be Larry Graham because I had Larry Graham videos everywhere. He did his album cover. He painted for Larry Graham. And so I had to go back and remember that before I wanted to be Michael Jackson and Tupac. I wanted to be Larry Graham, but a lot of aunts and people where I would go, they would have a piano or organ. And so that was the first one I could really get to. And they'd be like, Lord Chief, just gonna sit there the whole night. And I go to a family joint and just be tinkering around until I actually got some drums. I mean, of course, I did the buckets. And even if people didn't play actual drums, it seemed like it's buckets, whether it's lead talkers. I mean, anybody. We can't seem like we started on tapping and banging, which that's just a cool little fun fact that I'm noticing from talking to people.
But the crazy thing is, it didn't matter what it was. We made it a drum. Whether it was in school beating on the table,
yeah,
finding buckets, beating on buckets in the alley,
the wall, the window sill
with tree branches.
Right.
How about that?
Hell yeah.
Beating on buckets with tree branches, bro.
Making something out of nothing.
Something out of nothing, but it was all in fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made it work for us.
Hell yeah, and that's what it's about, man. That's what it's about. And I'm just grateful for that. My father was a painter, and my uncle uptown was a painter. So I had two houses. I'm gonna pull them things out and get busy, but it's not about me. So then after the drums, like I just, take us on a quick journey because I know you went to Duke and some things like that, right?
No, I didn't go to Duke.
I thought you went to Duke.
Nah. Rick went to Duke.
I know that, but I thought you went there too for some reason.
No, I was going up there to see Rick, and that's how we. So Rick was playing with a band called Butt Naked.
Yes.
Remember Butt?
It seems my man Diggs' phone then probably died or something. But yeah, Butt Naked. Butt Naked was the band that when we started at the Ibex. Oh, Butt Naked, Rick. And what's his name? Keon, his cousin, what's his name? Keon, the drummer.
Yeah, Keyway.
We started the Ibex together on the Sundays. They started with us the first night, you know. But go ahead.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I met Rick and Keyway.
Okay.
Over at Duke Ellison. So I was just going up there because he was playing with Butt Naked. At the time, I think I was playing with a band called Urban Funk.
Yeah, I remember Urban Funk.
Yeah. God rest Mr. Teddy Ray Soul, man. Ted was
Big Teddy.
Big Ted. Big Ted was a bad drummer, boy.
Yeah, and y'all had like some rock stuff going on too, right? Is that
Yeah.
that band Urban Funk used to work at Chuck's?
Yeah, yep, exactly.
Yep, that's Lamont cousin that sang with the Huggabugs. I used to go talk to Big Ted all the time. Yeah, man, gone too soon, man. R.I.P. Big Ted.
Yeah.
That was another question. What was the first band you played with?
Urban Funk, yeah.
Urban Funk, okay.
I'm sorry. No, the band, my high school band, it was called Request Band.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if you knew Donnell. Donnell used to live up. Donnell's from Uptown. He lived over by Fern Place.
Okay.
Light skinned Donnell got killed. Light skin had the blue eyes.
That sound familiar. If I see him, probably know him. But you know, I got connected with Fern and all that a little later.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Down the other way with, you know.
Yeah.
More so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was my high school band, Request. After Request came Urban Funk. And that's when I started, you know, chopping it up with Rick and Keyway and them.
Okay.
Yeah. I really started to get into the go-go world through Urban Funk. Mm-hmm.
Got you.
Yeah. Yep.
And so you was playing keys?
I was playing keys, exactly. Okay. I was playing keys, Ted on drums, my boy Greg from the Madness. Yeah, my man Greg that used to do the designs over at Madness Connection was playing congos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we had my cousin Pep from Mumbo Sauce to play congos.
Okay. Yeah, I've been chopping it up with Pep.
Yeah. Pep was actually on the front line.
Okay.
Yeah, Pep was on the front line. Little young guy that passed away, his name is Lawrence Michael Hester.
Okay.
They called him Mikey. Nice on the drums. But he was also a keyboardist. So it was me and him on keys. And who else would you know? Oh yeah, we had Big House on bass. House that used to play for Junkyard.
Wow.
Yeah, we had House on bass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, it's just like, man, these conversations it's so much history. It's so much, you know, you don't know. But of course it makes sense. Of course, we all musicians and you know, we've been around. We started somewhere. They asking, did Butt Nigga have a dude named Dallas playing congos? La Go-Go Nostra asked that.
Dallas. I don't know if his name was Dallas or not. I can't tell you who the Congo player was.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So they used to call him Winko D or something like that. Waco D or Winko D. I think his name. Yeah. They called him Waco D or something like that.
Damn, that's crazy. They always thought you went to Duke.
To Duke, nah.
Cause you was so nice, like in different areas, especially with them vocals, y'all. Let me tell y'all. When it came to before Dig was a producer at the time we met. I mean, of course, you know, he could work with the vocalists, but I didn't know him as a singer. And like the way he can do harmonies and layers is really incredible. And the way he knows how to interact with a singer, which is very important as a producer, knowing how to push and not push with a singer, because sometimes you could push a singer and if they shy, even like if they're not seasoned, you could kind of kill their spirit if you push them too hard. So it's a way you even got to talk to them and give them confidence at the same time, trying to, you know, bring it out of them. So I've watched that. I've watched Digger do that, and I was definitely impressed by that.
The most important part of working with another artist is you got to have patience. You know, some people get frustrated when, you know, if you don't have any studio experience, and like, for instance, if you bring somebody to the studio that don't understand the studio, they're gonna be ready to leave, because you know what type of hours we put in, Chief. We
Right.
put them hours in. We could go in at 12 a.m. and don't come out till like 10 a.m. the next morning. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, you got to have patience. I used to love bringing females to the studio because, you know, we always get the bad rap of, you know, y'all wasn't in the studio, y'all was doing this, y'all was doing that. Okay, come to the studio, come see
Right.
this work.
Right.
Then they see that it's nothing but work. It's just you, the engineer, the artist, and maybe a couple other people. And we in that junk grinding,
Right.
working.
None of the stuff you see in the movies, not usually, right? It's actual work. It ain't this glamorous, and we in there getting top and you know and fooling around. It costs too much money for one.
Exactly.
And we really about this. We serious about it. So like R. Kelly, I think, said one night, man, you gotta sleep in that junk. Just make a hit. You gotta spend the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. And then after that, they don't never want to come back to the studio.
Right. They're like, all right. Yeah.
Exactly.
They gonna leave that night or go to sleep. Like, man, it's boring. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Boring to you is work to us. We actually are doing something.
I'm glad you think it's boring. I ain't got to worry about you ever coming back to the studio. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let me get back to work.
Problem solved.
Exactly. But back to working with the artists, is you got to have patience, man. And you definitely got to know how to talk to your artist, because if you don't, then you're not going to get the best out of that artist while you're at the studio.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Real talk. I've witnessed that. Like I've learned from watching that with you, and yeah, that's why I got you on here, because it's like I just want people to know. So all right, let's fast forward. Oh no, it's not fast forward. So you was working with Top Notch, right? I know you know did a lot on the Union album. You did a few tracks on there, right?
I did pretty much damn near the whole album. Yeah.
That's the one Chucky did, right? Coco City. You did all them Jones, the skits. You were the skits and all that, right?
The skits,
yeah.
Chucky did. He did Cadillac Styles.
Right. Okay.
Then me and Chuck collabed on Do Your Thing.
Okay.
And I did a collab with Daoud on Coco City.
Coco City.
That
jump was popping in my head today.
Yeah.
So like, yeah. So that's kind of around the time, like I keep telling people, rap wasn't cool. But you know, you was one of the, you know, some of the best lyricists and artists, performers in the game. And like I said, that's when we kind of connected. So where did it go after that? I know it was it Like Blood you was with?
So I got into doing production first with Dark Alley.
Oh, Dark Alley. That's it. My bad.
Dark Alley Mob. Yeah, Dark Alley Mob was the first group.
Okay.
Shout out to my man The Clips, Razor Face, and my man Giz.
Yeah.
Dark Alley Mob.
Yeah.
Flip the Script Entertainment.
Okay.
So I got into doing production with them first. I did their first album, As the World Turns, and we used to host a hip hop battle / showcase over at State of the Union. State of the Union. That was way back in the day. That was like in the 90s.
Yeah, classic joint though.
Yeah, I think around like 96. Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of classic hip hop DMV artists came through the State of the Union. You know, your Smoke Sections, your Oi Boys, your what was it? Thoroughbreds, Garvey the Chosen One, Goretti, you know, everybody that was Bear Witness. Everybody
Yeah,
that was kind of hot in the city came through the State of the Union back in the day.
yeah. Damn.
Yep.
Remind me of some names. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
Definitely.
And so I definitely remember that. Like I said, I was trying to remember the name, but yeah, then so I'm just trying to just go through the
The
timeline of
timeline.
yeah.
So Dark Alley, then came Top Notch.
Mm-hmm.
After Top Notch, Like Blood.
Okay.
Uh-huh. So I mean, of course, Top Notch had their run. We had How We Roll playing on 93.9. It actually got into regular rotation. And
Right.
it was through a contest that 93.9 was having.
Yes.
The
Yep.
song went up against one of Jay-Z songs. It went up against Excuse Me, What's Your Name? That joint. And
Damn.
yeah. And we beat Jay-Z that night and we advanced. And we got to talk. Mahmoud went up to KYS and talked with the program director, and we got regular rotation. So How We Roll spent in regular rotation from I think probably like 3 to 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
Top Notch was on the move, blowing up. Of course, during the process, some things happen, and
Yeah.
you already know how that happens. And we parted ways. But to this day, we still cool. I'm still cool with everybody. Everybody just went their separate ways. After Top Notch came Like Blood. That's why I met my boy Eric Mann, businessman E, and told me that they had some major backing. They just needed production. So that's where I came in. Started working with Like Blood, and at the time they didn't have proper management. So I brought in my boy G Baker. Shout out to Greg Baker, Blackbird Films, and we went on a run with Like Blood. Like Blood did a video called Red Carpet Affair,
Mm.
and it was featuring Pinky, my man Clifton Powell. Call him Uncle Cliff.
Okay. Yep.
It is featuring Uncle Cliff and Wood Harris. We did a movie called
Diamond
Jazz,
District.
Jazz in the Diamond District. That was with Clifton Powell and Wood Harris. Shout out to Lindsay Christian from Soul Blue Entertainment. She was the executive producer of that movie. And I actually did the soundtrack with Chucky Thompson.
Yeah,
Yep.
you were trying to fly me in on me and Gabby had the Get High joint. You know,
Exactly.
we couldn't get Devin on approval, and I just remember staying up all night trying to mix it and get it ready. And I was working a job for 12, 14 hours a day. Whatever happens, it didn't. However it happened,
Yeah.
didn't make it. But that's why I remember that junk because
Uh-huh.
yeah. So what's the lady name? Because you used to always say her, Lizzie what?
Lindsay Christian.
Christian. Okay.
Soul Blue Entertainment.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so
So
then, go ahead. My bad.
with the success of Like Blood, they had the movie, they had 106 and Park popping. They we did a song called Money Over Here featuring Bobby Valentino that made it to 106 and Park. I mean, well, both of the songs made it to 106 and Park. Red Carpet Affair and Money Over Here featuring Bobby Valentino. So I mean, and then we went on tour with Raekwon and Chef on the Only Bill for Cuban Links 2 tour.
Wow.
Yeah, we did a 30 city tour with Raekwon. Yeah, that was fun right there, Chief. That
See,
was
I
some
mean,
fun.
that's why I got you on here because I know you know what I mean. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, bro. Them was some good
Man.
times, man. Just hitting different states, man, and you know, chilling with Raekwon. And I actually got to meet a lot of the Wu-Tang members, man. We did a show at the was it the Hammerstein Ballroom? I think it was the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York. And I got to meet Busta Rhymes. I met Capone Noriega, Yellow Wolf, and a few of the Wu-Tang members. I met Papa Wu. You know, I think Old Dirty was gone by the time. Yeah, I think he had passed away around that time, man. But that would have been the highlight of my life. Would have met Old Dirty, because Old Dirty was he was a wild dude. I was about to cuss.
Yeah. No, I just try to keep it to a minimum, but we be all right.
Yeah.
Kim say, hey, when we first came in, she say, hey, Mo.
Tell Kim I said what's up.
Yeah, she on here.
Hey, Kim.
Damn, man. That's all right, man. Like, it's like I said, so much history. We are walking history books, and just our culture, and we so cool and laid back, and we don't be doing too much and talking too much. And so, like, I'm talking to friends and people I come up with, and it
Yes,
just be certain things you don't know, and that's why these platforms are good for us to have these conversations. So I'm just like I be I don't really do much research because I'm talking to people I know, but I go back and I'm like Paula Campbell, and it seemed like another Baltimore artist that was kind of big. I know you was working with, but I definitely remember Paula Campbell. So when was that on the timeline? After Like Blood?
That was actually that was in between Top Notch and Like Blood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there was a song Paula did called How Does It Feel that caught flame in Baltimore, 92Q. And she had a Baltimore artist named Tim Trees at the time. Tim Trees was hot in Baltimore. And she did a few joints with a dude. I think his name was Boss Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that moment with Paula. There was something else just thinking about. Shit, it'll come back to me. Paula Campbell. It was like it was another thing I remember. But yeah, so
at the same time I was working with Paula, I was doing some work with Cliff Jones.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I was doing some work with Cliff Jones. At the time, Cliff was I think he was an A&R over at Jive. So Cliff was always bringing Jive artists into the city to Night Flight. So
Okay.
one night I'm working on Paula Campbell's project over at Night Flight, and he comes in with Jasmine Sullivan.
That part. Go ahead. Yeah.
He comes in with Jasmine Sullivan. And at the time, I want to say Cliff probably had at least 10 different producers coming through Night Flight. So he pulls me out of my session over there with Paula to play some tracks for Jasmine and Jasmine's mother. Rest her soul. Man, her mother was tight too. Her mother was a jazz singer. So
Right.
yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. So he pulls me into Jasmine's session. I get to playing tracks for her. I mean, and throughout the day, she done sent at least 8 of them home. She ain't like none of the tracks.
Dang.
I got to playing tracks, man. And at the time, Jasmine, I think she was what, 16? 16 years old.
Yep.
Just off of Apollo. She went and crushed Apollo. So she signed the Jive Records. She ended listening to my tracks. And the only person that ever impressed Jasmine was Stevie Wonder. I got to playing tracks, and next thing you know, the girl turned her head, and then she calmed back down. Like, she exposed herself like she wasn't supposed to, be reacting to these tracks.
Right.
So I was like, oh, got her.
Right. Right.
So at the time, she had picked probably about like, out of 19 tracks I played for her, she probably picked about 7 of them. And I went back over to my session. And I wasn't, sure if she liked them or not. I finished up my session with Paula, went home that night, And as soon as I got home, Scotty Beats called me. Rest in peace, Scotty Beats. Good God Almighty.
Man,
hey, bro, we done lost a lot of good people, bro. A lot of good people.
Mostly over bullshit.
Over bullshit. So Scotty called me and say, Mo, you got to come back to the studio. I'm like, for what? He's like, man, you got a hit. I said, on who? Paula? He said, nah, Jasmine. I said, she recorded one of my songs? I'm like, oh, shit, I'm on the way back. So I go back to the studio. Man, Cliff damn near had a party in the studio. I mean, he didn't call everybody back to the studio. Everybody in the studio, even this guy that do string work. His name is Larry Gold. Larry Gold, popular out of Philly.
Yeah,
do string work. Called him back to the studio, man, and Jasmine had recorded one of my tracks, and they kept playing it over and over and over. So I'm like, you got one, bro. You got one. I'm a youngin' in this. Like, damn, I got one.
Wow.
So and then the song was featuring this dude he was out of Baltimore named Pizzo.
Okay.
I think that's probably who you were talking about. No, I'm sorry. Pizzo was out of Miami.
Okay.
He was out of Miami. And Pizzo would have put you in the mind of Lil Baby. Oh, no, the Baby.
Okay.
He would have put you in the mind of the Baby. The way he flow, whatever. So I'm thinking, all right, this is my joint right here. We got one. Lo and behold, Jasmine gets dropped from Jive Records. She got dropped. She was working with Missy. Missy was in charge of Jasmine's project. Jasmine got dropped from Jive, but she got picked up over at J Records. So once she got to J Records, her management changed, so we kind of lost contact.
But look, so I don't know if it was you or my man Brian Bellamy, another producer, and I think he was up in Philly, and it seemed like one of y'all told me that around that time she was signed, but her voice was so sexually mature for her age.
Yeah,
that they was holding her back. They was trying to figure out how to.
They didn't know how to market her, and they ended up dropping her.
Okay, that's how she got dropped. Okay.
Yeah, but once she got to J Records, she was still under Missy's, under Missy's production.
Okay.
So her first single was "Need You Bad."
Okay.
That's when everybody thought that was a new. They thought it was a new Lauryn Hill record. It was actually Jasmine. So that's how she got her start over at J Records. That record, man. When I first heard that record, I was just in tears, like proud of her, man, because she was a breath of fresh air.
Man.
Yeah.
This day. The feelings, almost everything, but like, so I sing Felix. I always put Felix in the feelings, right? Hey, young, her voice, the strength, the passion,
yeah,
one of a kind, Slim.
Like that.
And I know two producers from the DMV from this go-go thing, right? That's why these stories need to be told. That was sitting, trying to, get her going. And
right.
That should be the magic to me. And it'd be like, yeah, we be right here. I mean, we be everywhere for real. Sometimes people don't know we be in all type of rooms and all type of situations.
Right.
But, that I just remember both of y'all telling me some of that. But yeah, I was talking to Mark Mood the other day. And he was talking about some old footage and stuff. And he brought up Frankie, man. Did you ever work with Frankie?
Nah, man. I never got a chance to work with Frankie. Frankie would always come down, come to the basement where, over the Renzo house.
Joint, yeah.
Yeah. Always come over the Ren house, but it was just more to just like vibe and, chop it up with, Top Notch and the rest of the Uptown Soldiers, But we never actually got a chance to work. I know Frankie had done a lot of work with Chucky. And they would play me a lot of Frankie records, man. And Frankie was crazy with it.
Yeah. Like it just reminded me. I remember that era, like when all these things was happening. Like I'm a baby, I'm just on drums and getting in the go-go world, but I'm a baby in that side of it. But just grateful to have to know people like Mark Mood and Qasim and you, and what I'm saying, to even be able to to hear some of these stories, or to just to go in Rim Basement to see some of this stuff going on.
Yeah,
Because it was important, and that energy is good to see this work in progress, because you see how it's done. You know what I mean? So I'm just grateful for that.
I mean, the beautiful thing about it is, man, everybody kind of came out of one camp, man. You
Really?
had Daoud, who was responsible for Chucky's success.
Mm-hmm.
He helped Rich Harrison as well.
Mm-hmm.
Rich and Scotty Beats was cousins. Chucky and Daoud and all them had the power of three thing going on. So, and then Los used to write with Chucky back in the day.
Okay.
Los from Backyard.
Right.
Didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't.
Los could write his ass off.
I didn't know. I mean, I know he could write for sure. Look, Los flat out still to this day. I didn't know he went to do.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. But when I heard, it made sense. But you see the persona on the stage, especially the Chachi Poppy now, right? Back in the day, he was more clean with his, But when you see that now, you be like, but it made sense because he's a prolific writer, freestyler. He's mixing verses. Anytime G say low, something new, he right there. Yeah. And I remember talking to Buggy. He said, man, that man got books all up and down his bedroom, stacks of notebook,
I ain't talking about just rap.
Just
man,
right.
Los used to write full R&B songs, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because they used to sing with Backyard a little bit at first. That's what I heard too. Yeah.
Yeah. Los is very talented.
Man.
It was also a writer named Q back then too.
Okay.
He was part of Chucky's camp. Yeah, man.
Man,
everybody kind of like came out the same little clique, man.
Yeah. That's what I've come to discover. Like,
Michelle Blackwell.
Yeah, Michelle. Yeah.
Faith used to be down here too.
Wow. Yeah.
I ran into Faith Evans at a concert that her and Paula was on. I still got the picture to this day, and I got to talking to her about the stuff from back in the day, and I brought up Chucky and Daoud and Qasim and all them, man, and she was, man, her face lit up like a Christmas tree, man.
Wow.
She was like, man, you taking me way back. I was like, yeah.
Gabby tapped in. He said,
hey. Yeah.
Gabby Mo. All right, so
with the Top Notch album came The Gift of Gab.
Yes.
And Hump DeVille's Cadillac Styles Volume 1. Mixtape.
Yep.
So I did a lot of tracks on Hump DeVille's project, and of course The Gift of Gab, along with the magnificent Chiefism.
Yeah, I got one in there. You know what I'm saying? I think I got one in there, and you gave me some sprinkles on that thing.
Yeah.
But me and Gabby was talking about that, man. We need to find it and put it on the market, or even on a website, behind something, and you could get the physical copy of something, because it's legendary music. Now I don't know what how much we own, but if you say you did most of it, like, yeah, let's figure out how to get that out there for the people, man. So they know how we was doing it. Bet you they didn't know we was doing it like that.
Like that.
Talk. So just to keep it going, I come back from Atlanta. I mean, this is a big fast forward. Oh no, so before that. No. So I mean, if you got something that put in there, that's fine. But I'm trying to, just like the timeline in my head. I come back and I'm at Swag with Sean. And come over one night, band rehearsing, and Mo Diggz, the producer, is singing with G Swag. And I say, yeah. man, singing with the band, you know. So I remember that's the first band I saw you singing with. Right? Is that the first band you sang with?
All right. So before we get to that,
okay.
Then came it was Jasmine Sullivan. Then it was Raheem Devon.
Oh, okay.
I had two on Raheem Devon's A Place Called Loveland album. Track 10 and 11 featuring what's my boy name? Jazz from Drew Hill.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. After that came Ari Lennox. I've had probably about at least 3 records on Ari Lennox before she got signed to Dreamville.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I worked with her as well. So after I kind of got away from the production, I met this girl named Rachel Douglas. I just happened to be out doing karaoke one night, and after I sung, she came up to me, her and her cousin, and they kind of like cornered me, and they was like, "What you think about singing for a band?" And I was like, "I'm still on my industry shit." I'm like, "Nah, I'm good," you know. So they wouldn't let me leave without getting my information. Like they cornered me. So I gave her my information, and I got to thinking about it. I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I'm kind of sitting still for a second. I'll give it some thought." So I went to see them over at I think the name of the hotel was called The Points over there in New Carrollton.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first time I seen G Swag, and G Swag had a little buzz at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, I'm like, okay, well, what the hell? So I went to one of the practices, and that's where you saw me at over Sean's studio.
Yep.
Yeah, yep. That's when you found out that I was on the front line.
Yep. Then I came, I saw y'all hit a couple times. I think Pee Wee was there at the time because my man, Los was playing keys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
man,
So I was just like,
Carlos.
I was like, damn, the nigga singing. And you sounded pretty good, because like I said, I know I seen you a vocal arrange and stuff like that, but it's just unexpected.
Right.
But like now, when I see some of these clips, it's just like you just hear the strength. You sing. It's a muscle. Your vocal cords got so much stronger. You do something with repetition, you get so much better at it. And I be
Right.
looking at them jumps now, like So yeah, I'm proud of you, my brother.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I thought the Raheem came after G Swag. That's why I was, like that's the order in my head.
No. Raheem actually, I guess it was probably a little bit during G Swag as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was kind of like during G Swag, but
So what's the name of the tracks for the people?
It's called, the first one is called Dear Love Queen, and the other one is called it's the Welcome to Loveland.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Number 10 and number 11 on a Place Called Loveland album.
Place Called Loveland. Yeah, I remember when you told me that. I was nice. I was like, that's all right. But yeah, man, you was getting some movement and some, you was getting some placements more than I even knew in the industry. But
I'm sorry, the name of the track 11 was called Love King. That or it was either Love King or The Best You Ever Known.
Okay.
But it's number 10 and number 11 on a Place Called Loveland album.
That's good enough. That's good enough.
Good enough.
Yeah. I forgot you said that.
Hey, I even made it to Wikipedia.
Real?
I made it to Wikipedia. Yeah, you could look it up on Wikipedia as well.
Just like for the credits, right?
Yeah.
For all of them.
Yeah.
Because I guess once you get a certain amount, it's a big deal. We gotta get this person their just due.
Yeah. I was totally shocked, man. Like, this is crazy.
That's tight.
Yeah.
That's tight. So before we get to this Allure Band,
Okay.
Okay. I want to talk about you called me. I don't remember exactly. I meant to look at the text and see. It was the I forget the lady's name that was doing the Grammy. She working with the Grammy folks. She was looking for something go loops or something.
Oh yeah, Elise Perry.
Elise Perry, right?
Uh-huh. She was responsible for she had a song on I think it was Far Away From Here.
Oh,
Kendrick Family Soul. It was one of them songs on Kendrick's Family Soul album. She produced yeah, I think it was Far Away From Here. Because she was
okay.
actually in the video.
Man, that's my joint.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Gab say Diggs always wanted to sing. He used to ref shit in the booth
Yeah.
for everybody. Yeah, yeah. We
Yeah.
saw. I told him, Gab. I said, man, he showed me how it's done. You know what I mean, as far as the arrangement and talking to an artist. But yeah. So you called me about that, and I reached out to whatever. That didn't work out. That's fine. And in that conversation, I don't remember. I don't remember what actually happened, but you told me about some type of sickness. I think he was in the hospital. Something had happened.
Okay.
You were taking this medicine, and the medicine was the
Oh,
wrong
okay.
medicine.
So with all the, fun I've had being around Top Notch and Like Blood and being in the studios, I'm a diabetic,
Right.
and you know, if you don't pretty much take care of your situation, certain things can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, you're in the studio, you working, you grinding, but you also drinking as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I I developed a heavy champagne habit. I mean, Gabby will tell you we used to be in the club popping champagne like we won the championship game
Right.
between Top Notch and Like Blood. I mean, we was pretty much in the club at least 4 nights out of the week.
Yeah.
And at the time I wasn't really taking my health serious. I guess when you're out drinking and stuff, you think, oh man, I'll be good in the morning. You know, get up, do the same thing again. Get up, do the
Mm-hmm.
same thing again. But over the years, man, the stuff catches up with you. The
Yeah.
drinking catches up with you. And at the time, I ended up in the hospital coming back from Myrtle Beach. I was on vacation. Came back and I kept having to urinate a lot. And I'm like, man, why am I constantly urinating? Like every 5 minutes.
Damn.
My my diabetes, my sugar levels was out of this world. I mean, I've heard people's sugar levels get up to like 600 and 700 to the point where they was almost in a diabetic coma. But mine was only at like 393. But Chief, I felt like my world was crashing, bro. I was sweating. I was fatigued.
Mm-hmm.
Constantly tired. I had to go to the hospital. As a matter of fact, shout out to my man Curvin Cotton. My man Curvin took me to the hospital. Actually, Curvin was one of the producers on "Soon as I Get Home" by Faith Evans, and he was working with Chucky at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he ended up taking me to the hospital, man, and that's when I found out, my diabetes was out of control. So I got on my diabetes medicine. Now, the time I talked to you was, I think, right before this whole amputation came about.
It was right before, dog.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah. So I want to say 2019, my mom passed away from cancer. and I went back into a dark place, drinking myself crazy again.
Yeah.
And at the time, I had moved from Uptown to Annapolis. Of course, when I was married,
Mm-hmm.
I was living in Annapolis, and in my old residency, I stepped on a nail. And I went to the hospital. And the nail wasn't even big enough to like really be at the hospital, but I still went anyway because it actually pierced the skin.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and got the shot, and they gave me some antibiotics that wasn't killing my infection. Wasn't killing my infection because I was still drinking, and my diabetes was out of control again. So it was a process, man. I had to constantly go to the podiatrist, and the podiatrist would check my foot, and it wasn't improving. So it got to the point where the infection had, I guess the word is, I guess the word they use is, it became septic,
Mm-hmm.
which means that it got into my bloodstream.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to hospitalize me, and me being in the hospital, they had to, do what they had to do to get my sugar levels down to try to control the infection. Well, long story short, the doctor said we got to take the pinky toe. I'm like,
Dang.
so now they gotta put me through surgery. And I cut off my pinky toe. It took my pinky toe. Get home, heal up, go back to the podiatrist. The infection is still spreading. Now we got to take a bone out of the side of your foot. So it took a bone out of the side of my foot. Oh man. Went through the healing process again.
Wow.
The infection is still spreading. At this point, they got me on a wound vac. So the wound vac is to help the wound heal faster. So I'm wearing like one of them little corrective boots with a machine backpack hooked to my foot.
Wow.
Healed up. Go back to the podiatrist. The podiatrist said I developed something called, I can't think of what it was called. It was like either Mercer or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was something else. It was to the point where he said that the bones in my foot were starting to disintegrate. So it's like, I'm afraid, we're going to have to amputate your foot. Man, I cried like a newborn baby, Chief. So here I am thinking, okay, my diabetes is getting better. The wound is healing. They tell me I developed this whatever MRSA is, and my foot is disintegrating. They also said that I developed another ulcer on the bottom of my foot.
Shit.
And, yeah. So now they telling me that it's developing gangrene.
Mm.
So they gotta take my whole foot. They left me in the hospital that night to think about it. And when the doctor came back to the room, I prayed about it, and I was just like, do what you got to do, doc. So they prepped me, for surgery the next day, and they took the foot, man. I tell you one thing though, when I got out surgery, I felt like a brand new person.
That's what I want to say. So we talked, and that was a possibility, which was, too much for me. Outside looking in, sometimes it's worse.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like, damn. Because when you're going through, you got to go through it. So you're gonna pray, and then the next time I seen you, on like a video, you know, I was like, what? But you was, I mean, of course, you on stage and shit, but it's just like, he seemed like he good though. He seemed like whatever he had to do to come, you know, to accept this thing, he's dealing with it in a great way and moving forward positively. And that's the only thing that made me feel good. You know, I'm like, well, you know, at least he's handling it well.
Yeah.
That was crazy, bro. I was like, damn.
So the amputation actually happened, I want to say it was probably a little bit after October of 2022. So it's been probably about 3 years since I've been, you know, going through what I went through, along with, you know, divorce and all that other crap. But to me, it was like either you do something about it or you sit around and be miserable.
Exactly.
And the only thing that kept me sane was my music.
Yeah.
I think if I didn't have music in my life, bro, I wouldn't be here. So, I mean, I pretty much dealt with it. I healed, I want to say within 6 months of, you know, 23. And
Okay.
I went back to work. I was below the knee. I was amputated below the knee. So once I got back on my feet, I mean, it was like nothing ever happened. I was walking regularly and everything. The problem was I didn't stay off of my, you know, off of my stump long enough for it to heal.
Okay.
So what happened was I worked for probably about 2 weeks. Then I had to go back out of work because I developed a blister on my stump. And once again, from the gel casing, the prosthetic, and the sweat absorbing, and me not taking it off properly once I got home from work, because I'd be dead tired. Walking around, you know, walking around Washington Hospital Center hallway all day long. You know, I wasn't taking my prosthetic off properly.
Infection
And
again.
It developed a blister, and the blister bursted, and it got infected again.
Wow.
So, with that being said, I had to go back in the surgery. This time, they told me that they couldn't kill the infection. So, I had to get more amputation done.
Wow.
So, I went from below the knee to above the knee. So, they cut me more.
What?
Yeah.
This is a long, grueling process starting with the pinky toe.
Yeah.
Well, man, look.
It went from the pinky toe to the fourth toe to the third toe, chopped the foot off. I was below the knee, got my prosthetic, went back to work for 2 weeks, had to go back out of work because of the blister on my stump for them to tell me that it's infected, and they had to chop me more. Now I'm above the knee.
And you still here, goddamn it. God is good.
Still here.
Man, thank you for sharing that, man.
Yeah.
Man, because if you know, you got to help people. You know, if anything, it can help somebody or a younger person. Like, yeah, take care of yourself, man. Because we live in this rock star, you know, go rock star musician. If shit, niggas ain't even musicians. These youngins out here doing all. You know, you got to take care of yourself, man. We done been in camps and situations, right, where the OGs would be like, man, y'all need to slow down because when y'all get to the money, I ain't even gonna be able to enjoy it. And that will always stick with me. Like, you know, y'all out here living like this, y'all ain't even got to the, you know, but so just a testament to for one, taking care of yourself, and then a testament to testimony for perseverance and to keep going. Because now you're running the one with Allure Band,
Yeah.
you know, like I said, and I'm looking, I'm like, man, I mean, of course, I know, you know, you gotta do what you do, but the strong brother right there, y'all. It's a strong brother, Mo Diggz. My goodness, bro. I didn't know it was that drawn out, you know. So man, you know, God is good, man.
Oh
That's all
yeah.
I say. I ain't know
Most
the
definitely.
divorce was going on. I didn't put that together. I kind of, you know,
Yeah, man. I
man,
mean, through
man.
through the surgeries and learning how to walk again, you know, back to another surgery and going through healing and going through a divorce at the same time, man. Is all I can say is God is good, bro.
Exactly. That's
God is
it.
good.
That's all. That's what it is. Because you know, humans, our little human ass, we be, you know what I mean. But that faith and that higher power and that higher power that resides within kept you pushing and kept you going, and you here, you know,
Yeah,
by the grace of God, and that's a beautiful thing to tell this story. Like I said, to even you know maybe help somebody else because that's what it's about. If it's one person that see this and be like, man, you know, and just you know be more cognizant of that, or you know just to try to have some discipline,
yeah,
which all of us need. Look here, let me tell you. So man, like I said, thank you, man, for blessing us with that, man. And also, like I said, I'm learning about just some of the travels and your journey and spaces and places you've been. So that's like I said, I wanted to get you on here for the people who didn't know. You know, I didn't even know a lot of it, so it's always a beautiful thing.
yeah.
I don't know what time we. I ain't trying to hold you too long. Anything you know you want to add? Anything we missed? If you want to tell the people, you know, where to find you, and talk about Allure Band. How did that even happen? You were with somebody. I know you were doing the open mics with Willie and them. I saw you up there
Oh yeah,
one night.
yeah.
Um,
I'm still with Round of Applause band.
around
We
the
do
okay,
uh we do Martinis next door, 725 Caddy Drive, Fort Washington, Maryland. Every Wednesday, band starts at 9 p.m. free admission, and we do a live R&B and go-go karaoke. You know where our slogan is "Where you are the star."
yeah,
So if you feel like singing, you feel like you got some talent, you want to play an instrument, come you know over to Martinis on Wednesdays and party with the Allure Band, man. Get up there. I'm sorry, party with Round of Applause. Where you are the star.
yes,
R&B
indeed,
live, go karaoke. You know, you get up there, do your thing, play an instrument, whatever. We up there having fun, man.
exactly. Yeah, I came. I saw you at Society, and that joint was
Uh-huh.
lit. I ain't gonna lie, I hit Willie like late. I was late. Like I'm trying to come do one of my songs. He's like, yeah, come on, boo. When I got there late,
Yeah.
so I didn't make the list. But I
Uh,
enjoyed the show. My girl got up there, her and somebody did. So I got the video. But do
okay.
y'all? It wasn't a Congo player. Do y'all have a Congo player or not?
Yeah,
Sometimes.
we have a Congo player over at Martinez.
Okay, okay. Just
Hmm.
y'all ain't have one up there, but without the Congo player, it was lit.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good time, man. Sometimes you don't need the Congos if
Oh yeah,
you know how to do it right. Yeah.
exactly. That's all I'm saying. When you got
Mhm.
Willie Howe back that thing, man, all the musicians, but man, Willie a dog, man. I was telling her, I
Man.
seen him the other day. I said, boy, you like a drum machine.
Yeah, yeah.
Gabby say strong as fuck, strong as that, strong as AF. I pulled up a hospital center, but I swear I love Digger for life. DC, Dr. Dre, God is great. Facts.
Hey man,
Right.
man.
Appreciate you, Gabs,
Hey
locking
man,
in with us.
me and Gabs used to be on stage. Gab remind me every time we do dirty. He like, hey Diggs, you gotta down stage tonight.
You gotta get shot by that top-notch helicopter. I used to love that joint, young. Every time. I used to love that part. But yeah,
Yeah,
we was coming to them joints. Me and my brother was hitting all them joints.
yeah.
You
One
know,
thing about Gab energy, man. Gab been the same dude since I met him. Always
unmatched.
energetic, man. Always ready to get in that booth and burn some shit up. Yeah.
Always positive and upbeat, though. I tell
Yeah.
people, like, you don't find Gab down or complaining too much. He might a little bit in there, but just usually, you know, always kind of in good spirits, and you know, and it reflects in his music, motivational and inspirational. And that was, you know, one of the things that drew him to me, because I'm all about inspiring people, like, right? That's what it's about, to motivate people. Like, yeah, like, you know, let's keep going. It's better days to come and all that. You know what I mean? So
Man,
that's why me and him like click.
Gab is the master Joner.
Oh, that's facts.
Don't
That's
nobody
facts.
want to see Gab and Joner. That Bama can Joan.
That's facts.
Yeah.
Look, Kim say only complain is about driving an hour to everywhere. Well, that's because he moved out Laurel. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Gabby Mo, aka Barbecue.
Barbecue.
It will fry you.
Bob's on the grill, Huck's Hogs on the hill. Yeah, that's my guy, man. That's my brother from another.
Yes, indeed.
So yeah, so you got round of applause. I'm definitely up there next Wednesday. Then
shout out to Woody Howell, my boy Nathan Johnson, my boy Jason Suggs, my boy Snugs, my boy Mike. Let's go, y'all.
They like that, y'all. Y'all
B.O.
better up. Fact. And then Allure, it just seemed like that popped out of. No, it actually seemed like y'all been doing something. I'll be saying that here and there, the station, and doing joints for a minute. But it just seemed like it's picking up some traction for whatever. You know, I'm just saying on the internet.
I want to say we've been at Tacoma Station. We had a 9-year run with Tacoma Station. 9 years. Damn. 9 years with Tacoma Station, and we just started Club Air. Shout out to Abdul. Down at in Adams Morgan. Yeah, 18th Street. Yeah. So we just started Air. I want to say the beginning of this year, and we got it every second and fourth Friday.
Okay.
Of the month, yeah. So we there at Air every second and fourth Friday. And we just did the narcotics and alcohol convention down in Ocean City. That was April 12th with Trouble Funk.
Okay.
So that's where you seen the video, and I guess it went viral. Joe Claire reposted it. Yeah, Joe Claire reposted it, and it went viral.
So that was Ocean City.
That was Ocean City.
Okay, I think I said Atlantic. Gab said that's a long time at the station. That's what I was thinking. Because like I said, I had seen it. You know, I've seen it. I'm gonna go up there and catch them. But you know, he'd be out here ripping and running, but damn, that long I ain't come up there, man. Shame on me, man. I'm gonna come out the next couple weeks and catch y'all at Air. But I did catch round of applause. I'm gonna come catch Allure, man. I'm gonna come support.
Okay.
With my boots, Gabby say, with my boots on the ground.
Where them fans at?
Yeah, we got to get back in there and do some of our Parody Boys joints, man.
Yeah, let's do it. Shout out to Lit Band too, man.
Okay, definitely, man. That's the bros. Bros for sure.
My cousin Black.
Lighting it up. Oh, that's your cousin B Dub? Okay.
Yeah, Black crazy ass.
Nice. B Dub. Nah, they on one right now.
Yeah.
They did a show at Fast Eddie's a couple weeks ago. And you know the drummer runs sound. The PA man at the board sleep. I ain't naming no names. I ain't gonna do that right now.
My man Blackface.
Blackface set the monitors and the house, and I'm talking about ain't had to be touched. I was thoroughly impressed.
Yeah.
And the band was just on one. I think this is the first night Queeby come into the set. And it was amazing, dog. And I was talking to Los. He said, bro, it was like a practice. And Queeby came, you know, like it was like overnight. A couple things happened because they've been on the trajectory of you know, just getting better and better. But he was like, bro, just man, that night I was just in the crowd smiling. He said, I know, bro, because I'll be watching you when you in there. I ain't even video that night. I was just taking it in. And so very proud of my Lit Band fam.
Tell Gab, Gab on here. Gab, look at your phone too. I text you today. Shots fired.
Barbecue.
He know what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. You said you
But
came up there. You came with Fast Eddie's that night?
oh yeah. I
Okay.
did.
Okay.
Yeah, he was up there. He was up there flaming
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. Doing it for the culture, y'all. Cheef and Go live with Mo Diggz, none other than Mo Diggz.
Yes, sir. Uptown Mo Diggz.
Uptown Mo Diggz. Did Gabby give you the digs, or you just went to that on your own? Because you know he named everybody.
Yeah, Gabs was the first one to call me Diggs. I was going by Mo Diggz.
Yeah.
Yep. Then Gabs just made it short. What's up, Diggs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, man. Definitely appreciate you coming through, my brother.
Definitely, man. Thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely, man.
Can I plug these shows real quick?
Absolutely. Please.
Hey, man, it's your boy Mo Diggz, man. Come party with the Round of Applause Band each and every Wednesday over at Martini's in Fort Washington. That's 725 Caddy Drive, Fort Washington, Maryland. Band starts at 9 p.m. We do live R&B, go-go, and karaoke. This Friday, we're at Air. That's in Adams Morgan, 18th Street. That's with the Allure Band. Allure Band, Allure. We are Allure 202 on Instagram. So, and every first Friday at Tacoma Station, 7 p.m. That's Uptown, 4th Street.
Okay. Y'all still up there. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Cool. Oh, that's what I'm gonna catch y'all for sure. That's that's base.
Whatever the first Friday is in May, we're at Tacoma Station.
That's the second.
Okay.
The second.
Yeah.
Because I got Blue Eye penciled in for next Thursday, which is the first. That's why I know that. So Blue Eye to come through, y'all, and chop it up on the Cheef and Go.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to Blue Eye Daryl.
Yeah, man. Man, look.
That's Unc.
Yeah, that's Unc, man. This joint might be 2 hours.
Uh-huh.
We've been around so long and did so much. But you know, like I said, doing it for the culture, baby. We got to keep.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. I'm gonna sign off, and like I said, definitely appreciate you. I'm gonna pop up on y'all in a minute, Diggs.
All right, bro.
God bless, man. You be good out there and safe.
God bless you too, bro. You too.
All right.
Gone.
Well, that does it for another dynamic episode of the Cheef and Go live. Appreciate all y'all tuning in for sure. Oh, Gabby say the station home of the Strong Islands. Man, look, I got stories about them Strong Islands, and not even from me. I got people to come see me when I play with, be playing up there. And they don't get there early and drink a Long Island, a Strong Island, because your ass is gonna be in that bathroom. And people say, man, I ain't make it up for the first set, the second set, and they had to carry me home. So yeah, take caution and drink them Strong Islands very slow. Them joints tall and they strong, and don't sleep on them joints. The legendary Tacoma Station, man. Shout out to Mel and all my mans and them, and the owners and the crew up there at Tacoma Station. Legendary spot. Been going for years, man. Love them. Been played a lot of nights and then partied even more. You dig? So like I said, appreciate all y'all tuning in to the Cheef and Go live with Mo Diggz. I'm gonna get on out of here. You dig? And get out of here and do what I got to do. But like I said, next week should be Blue Eyed Daryl. If not, we're going to have somebody in here. Got a lot of great guests lined up. Make sure y'all lock into the channel, Lux Radio on YouTube, Go Loops TV, Go Loops on Instagram. The Roku channel, Lux Radio LUXXRADIO. Make sure y'all come in and check Kim's show out, Kickback with Cookie, Tuesdays at 7. And man, just tap in with us, man. We out here moving, we working, we doing it for the culture, we keeping it cranking. You know what I mean? Cheef and Go. And I'm gone. Peace of love, y'all. Help me, Kim.
Cheef and Go.